The following video contains spoilers for a show that you're not going to watch anyway. Viewer discretion is advised.
I liked it. I am so sorry. Wait. Before you go, please hear me out. Okay? Let me talk about why I liked what I saw. For the first time, really ever, watching anything like this, I just had to share some thoughts on it because I feel like I am genuinely one of the few in the world when it comes to this show. Because I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was entertained, and it kept me engaged the entire way through. Not for the reasons I feel it should have, though. I don't know, man. I had fun. I did. Despite a bunch of stuff that I would like to talk about. So please, just sit with me for a quick moment, and hopefully by the end, you understand a little bit more about where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to persuade anybody to like this show. I don't think that would ever work, okay? The show's got a 3.6 on IMDb. I don't know. Let's chat, please. First off, let me start off with what I think everyone can agree on when it comes to this show. This is not Resident Evil. It's just not. If there's one thing this show truly did about as bad as you could, it's nailing what makes Resident Evil Resident Evil. I mean, there are little hints here and there that make me go, oh yes, that's what I'm talking about, but for the most part, not really. No, they kind of missed the entire mark there, and that's truly saying something, all things considered. Based on the media we've been given, the adaptations we've seen for the last 20 years, yeah, it's pretty weird. The internet at large has one mega complaint. I mean, okay, they've got a lot of mega complaints, but if there's one that I've seen more than anything else, it's the dialogue.
I mostly just read Zootopia porn, so...
Yeah, we've all seen the Zootopia porn line. Whether or not the writers of this show intended it, they had some genuinely hilarious moments pop up throughout that didn't feel as completely out of place as I thought they would. You know Resident Evil, there's all kinds of funky ass moments throughout the entire series that just have you going, I can't fault it too much for dialogue being stupid every now and then. There are plenty of shows and movies that do it. It's just this one had a couple of pretty deep standouts. Deep standouts? Big standouts.
I want Pornhub to shred your resume.
I'm starving. What's for dinner?
What?
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's not perfect by any means, but it happened so infrequently for me that it didn't really take away from anything that I was watching. I try to look at it for what it is. Something trying to entertain me. It's not trying to do much else, I can tell you that much. It's really not trying to do much else. I know that when the trailer for this sucker dropped, it had some overwhelmingly negative reception. And with good reason. Us Resident Evil fans have never, ever been given what we have asked for. For over 20 years, it's been a staunch refusal to even pretend to give us what we want when it comes to a silver screen adaptation or otherwise. The closest I think we've ever gotten is Welcome to Raccoon City. And as much as I like that movie, I enjoyed it for as weird and messed up as it was, horribly paced, written, edited, acted in some departments. I still enjoyed that one too, but that's another conversation for another day. Kinda sucks that that's the closest we've ever gotten. And of course, we've all seen the Mila Jovovich series from, what's his name, Paul W.S. Anderson? And that guy's great. It's just been 2 decades of, ooh, can we get this now? No. Ooh, can we get this now? No. No one asked for this. A story set in 2022 and 2036 about Wesker and his 2 fake daughters. I mean, they're not actually his kids. I think he created them so that he could keep his clone self from dying. Yes, this Wesker is a clone. That leads me into another thing that I thought was a little too weird and silly, you know? I didn't really like the clone thing. Not enough to say, wow, this is the worst show I've ever seen, as quite a few people did. You can tell Lance Reddick is having a fantastic time throughout the entire show, and he's definitely putting in the work here. He was fantastic. The scene in the principal's office was awesome, even though, again, doesn't really fit in a Resident Evil show or movie. Why do I care about fake high school drama? I don't. But of course, in the scene where it's revealed that he is indeed a clone, it's one of the funniest things in the world. Because you've got regular Wesker, the Wesker that hides in the corner, silly, goofy, dumb Wesker, and then Lance comes down the stairs dressed like Blade. And I think everybody can agree he would make a pretty cool Blade. When it comes to Resident Evil adaptations, I think the biggest problem, the single biggest problem that they've all had, with the exception of Welcome to Raccoon City, has been that let's turn Resident Evil into an apocalypse story. No, they've never been about the end of the world or the apocalypse or zombies taking over everything. They never have been, they shouldn't be. Stop it, please. Please? They've always been about pharmaceutical giants overreaching, overstepping, going behind the lines to do naughty stuff, kind of like in the real world sometimes, I'm sure. Fans of the series, this isn't any new revelation to them, but those that aren't the biggest fans, you might say, oh, didn't know that. Hopefully, I can impart some knowledge. I don't have as much as quite a few people do, though. I wanted to get into the things that I did like about this show. I didn't want to make a video focusing just on the negative aspects that everyone has already, well, beaten the crap out of. So let me talk about the things that I enjoyed from Netflix's Resident Evil. Let me start with two right off the bat here. The set design and the overall quality and feel of everything in the show. Now, if you saw Welcome to Raccoon City, you'll know that quite a bit of it did not look very good. It was pretty low budget. I can't find the exact numbers, but I think that movie was anywhere from 20 to 40 million bucks. A lot of money, but not well spent when it came to Welcome to Raccoon City, at least. Now, I don't have any figures for what this show cost. If I had to guess, $8 million an episode. That's just a random guess. I'm basing that off of nothing. But I did see some complaints online about how everything looked really terrible. And I can't agree with that. I think everything looks like it was done with a lot of care. Now, I'm sure someone in the comments will drop a revelation on me saying, hey, actually, this set wasn't made for the show or whatever, something weird like that. But dude, this was pretty grand scale feeling. I mean, at least in one timeline, we got to see a lot of pretty large locations. Never once did I feel like, ooh, that looks real rough. I think only twice did I find myself going, well, that one's a little bit cheaper for sure. But the rest of it was shot beautifully. Everything was crisp and clean when you're in the 2022 timeline, and dirty and disgusting when you're in the 2036 timeline, exactly as it should be. When they introduced us to New Raccoon City, there was just an overwhelming sense of discomfort, and that was the intention. This place is dry and arid and super clean and just overall sterile and cookie cutter, just as I felt Umbrella always should have been portrayed as. Because you gotta admit, regardless of the show, a lot of people worked really hard to make whoever's vision come to light. Even if that vision was done by a suit, when it should never be done by a suit. This one's probably gonna get a lot of people mad at me. Again, remember what I said in the beginning of this video. I don't really see this as Resident Evil. It's not. It's a fun show that stole some aspects. I enjoyed a lot of the sound work and soundtrack. I felt, for whatever they were going for, they did a good job. I'm a big musical kind of guy. I love montage moments, where it's no dialogue, just actions. Doesn't have to be action, but actions, music, that's it. I like those. And there were plenty of moments like that throughout the show that accompanied what I felt was a good track for whatever the hell this show is. I know that Billie Eilish does not fit into Resident Evil, but in this weird, I believe, non-canon timeline, or not timeline, in this weird non-canon sequel, I felt it worked just fine. Honestly, those tracks were good fun, I enjoyed myself. That's all I'm really looking for here, is to enjoy myself, and that's all I was doing the entire time. If you just focus on having a little bit of fun, which I know you can do, this is fine, dude. Another thing I loved was, allegedly, because I don't know if this is 100% true, because these people aren't the writers, who would be able to tell you if this is true or not, some of the actors did say that the games all happened in this universe, every incident. So, I mean, naturally that's true. They do mention Old Raccoon City and the 1998 incident, and they actually mention some events kind of specifically from Resident Evil 5, which was really cool.
We were part of like a research and development team he put together to help him. He died in a volcano. It's okay, though. He wasn't very nice.
It made me ecstatic. It's little fan servicey moments like that, whether or not you see them as fan service, I certainly did, that made me enjoy it that much more. I know most fans are gonna see it as insulting, but I don't. I don't, because this show doesn't matter. I know, yet again, it's not what we asked for, but in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't mean anything. It's just a stupid, fun thing. And if this does turn out to actually have ramifications and somehow become a canon story, then I'll rescind what I said. But for now, it's just a silly show. Now, this one's kind of a weird little standout for me. I have seen some people talk about the fact that they do like this guy. They like this guy, they liked his fun little moment in one of these episodes. This guy, this goofy, silly, overweight suit-wearing guy, was, in my opinion, the only thing from the show that truly, truly, truly felt in-universe. This guy is pretty campy and on the nose. He's goofy, he's weird, he's cheesy as shit, and he's an anime badass in his fight sequence. This is the only guy that feels like a Resident Evil character from the get-go. He really does. I mean, when we're introduced to this guy, he damn near falls down the stairs and breaks his goddamn head open before ordering a firing squad to execute like 400 people. That just feels so actual Umbrella to me. A little bit creepy, but silly as hell. When I mentioned that cool fight sequence earlier, this dude really gets a moment to shine that nobody in the show ever gets, and I find that so damn funny. His little fight sequence with a Mauser, or the Red 9, and the other gun that I cannot recognize for the life of me, even though I know it's a direct reference, kind of like that guy that got killed by the spider earlier in the show who had a Hydra from Resident Evil 5 and beyond. I just wanted to share that if you did kind of like this show, you're not alone. You may like it for different reasons. You may be one of like the 95% that hates it, and with good reason. I'm not here trying to tell you that you're wrong for not liking it. I get why you wouldn't. I, when it first came out, hated what I was looking at. I don't find it insulting, because again, this show doesn't matter. It was goofy, it was silly. I'll watch anything with Lance Reddick in it. It was a good time, a genuinely fun time, and I know that it's probably going to be insta-canceled, or not. Kind of went a little viral. I'm sure that they might push a season 2 and try one more time, but I don't know. I don't really have hope for the longevity of this series, you know? I had a fun time. I hope maybe some of you can go through and go, okay, that was kind of fun, I guess. Because there are fun moments. There are plenty of ooh moments, which a show shouldn't just be that, I understand, but look at it for what it is. Same with the Halo show. Most people hate the Halo show. I thought it was fine. It's not my favorite because I've never really been a Halo guy, but I can still enjoy the show and have a good time, even knowing all that source material. I know. Just don't take it to heart. It's fine. This is not going to harm the games in any way. And if it does, then you can come right back to this video, timestamp this moment, and tell me I'm stupid. Look, guys, I had a good time, but I think I'm getting a little long in here, so I'm gonna head out. You guys are great. Please don't hate me. I just had a lot of fun. Don't hate me, please, please. Okay, bye. I'm leaving, I promise.